Guys, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Thanks for making us your sports and entertainment show of choice in this wonderful, wonderful state that's kind of the, epicenter for college football right now with Lane Train. He wants to take the LSU or Florida job, but his team's in the college football playoffs, so there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. We'll see if he stays in Oxford at Ole Miss because of the timing of the college football playoff and them not playing till December 19th or 20th. They're in the running for a home game. Then the next game will be at a neutral site, as y'all know. They're not going to get one of the four byes, but this has dominated our show and really national talk around the country. Also, the vasectomy stories are incredible on the Golden Moon Casino text line. It's World Vasectomy Day. I got a vasectomy, 20 years ago, and it was the best money that I ever spent. It's one of the most, if not the most popular commercial that we've ever played. Do you still have it, Jackson? I want to play it for our next guest who has 4 kids under 10, Steve Palazzolo, NFL insider, joining us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. This is the commercial that I cut 10 years ago. We all like to make good investments. One of the best investments I made 11 years ago was calling Mississippi Urology Clinic and scheduling a vasectomy. Love my kids, but 2 was plenty and they're expensive. The procedure lasted about 15 minutes and was painless. Nothing to it. To schedule a vasectomy today, call Mississippi Urology Clinic, 601-35. All right, so that was the spot, and if you knew how many people referenced that commercial in the Jackson metro area for years, I could take my family to Disney World. So we welcome in Steve Palazzolo, NFL Podcast of the Year. Check the mic. He joins us on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Steve P., what'd you think about that commercial, bud?
I didn't realize you were such an influencer. Before that term was really catching hold. You were a legitimate influencer in the area, huh? That was impressive.
Thank you. So you have 4 kids under 10. Have you gotten a vasectomy?
I have not.
You play with fire, brother.
So here we are.
Yeah. See, you could do
4 little guys. Yeah.
Cincinnati. You could do a deal, and they'll comp it, and then you talk about them, right? And because you're a great, you're kind of a great billboard for. Having 4 kids under 10, 4 boys under 10.
I will look into it. Yeah, I'll see if I can get my own influencer deal. I got the local pizza guy who watches my show last night, so that was good. So we started with maybe I'll get some free pizza. Maybe the vasectomy's next.
Did y'all get free pizza?
Not this time around. I paid for it in full, but he at least recognized me. I said, "Hey, I'm going to talk about your pizza on our live show tonight," and so I think there's a future there.
Okay. All right. Good. What kind of pizza was it?
Just a simple pepperoni, but there's not a lot of great pizza places over here in Cincinnati. So we found one, kind of like New York, Boston style that I like. So it can be our go-to.
Oh, that's right. You're from the New England area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pizza's not great in Cincinnati.
Are you, what is your chowder? Is it clam chowder? What's your,
yeah.
Okay. Clam chowder. Okay. Yeah.
Clam chowder is wonderful.
Is it really?
Wonderful. Yeah, I make sure I get some every time I go back. Make sure when I'm in the Boston area, make sure I get chowder. And you can't go wrong. There's a lot of good places up there.
Like, do you have a place? Like, what is one of your favorite places to get clam chowder in Boston?
So the place I like to get fried clams and chowder is a place called the Clam Box in Ipswich, Massachusetts. It's up on the water, and about a 40-minute drive from my house. It was like we'd make a little event of it to go get fried clams and chowder on like a Saturday night. So that's my spot.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Steve Palazzolo, culinary insider, NFL insider, joining us on influencer on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Okay. Let's move to football. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. The Raiders may not be good, but every win is precious in the NFL. How did Dak Prescott play against the Las Vegas Raiders? Steve P?
I thought he looked great. I mean, he had a fumble early on, and after that, really settled down. Raiders not good, as we know. I'm intrigued by Dallas though, because all season I keep saying I don't think the defense can be that bad. Right? They're in a historic level defensively. Now the Bengals have overtaken them at their historic level of awful defensively. But I thought Dallas, even before trading for Quinnen Williams, had a chance to at least get back toward middle of the pack as a defense going forward. And I think Quinnen Williams adds a little bit of juice on the defensive line, of course, and then some of the other guys coming back from injuries, Marvin Overshone and Malik Hooker. So I think there's some life there on that side of the ball. And now I'm intrigued by that when I think it's going to be a really good game against Philly. They get the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, and then the Lions. It's the season here. It's a stretch. I saw your friends on the Shouty Show saying this is legacy defining for Dak these next 3 weeks here.
Eagles, Lions, Chiefs, or Eagles, Chiefs, Lions?
Eagles this week, then the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, and then the Lions the following Thursday. So they do a Thursday night game for the two Turkey Day teams, Dallas and Detroit, the following Thursday.
Okay, so they play Sunday at 3:25 our time, and then they turn around, and that's a physical game against Philly, especially line of scrimmage, O-line, D-line, and then they turn around and play the Chiefs on Thursday. Holy smokes. And then the Lions have been a really, really physical team and franchise since Dan Campbell took over. This defense doesn't have a prayer to hold up against that run, Steve P. What do you think?
I think that they have a chance though now with Quinnen Williams in there. They've got him, Osa Odighizuwa. I think Kenny Clark. I think they could play a more physical brand of football than they've been able to before, and maybe Overshone and some of his speed. I'm intrigued. I don't think we learned a lot about the Dallas defense against the Raiders, but they have these pieces to play much better on that side of the ball. Maybe that helps Deron Bland a little bit. I think they've got some guys that can rush the passer. Donovan Azaraku, the second-round edge rusher, I think is playing really well over these last few weeks for them. So I think they could put it together. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy stretch or anything. I just think they could compete on the defensive side of the ball much better than they did earlier in the year. So I think it's going to be a fun stretch, I think, for Dallas. And then, Dak in that offense does look really good. George Pickens looks outstanding. I mean, he did. Looks like a real, like a number one type of wide receiver. He only showed little flashes of that with the Steelers, but he looks outstanding. And I think they can compete with anybody if they've got him and CeeDee Lamb out there.
Well, the reason why he only showed flashes is because they didn't have a QB like Dak that could get him the ball.
That's it.
I'm being serious.
True. I mean, they didn't use him great either. It's like George Pickens was so good on the outside on contested catches. That's just how they seem to get him the ball. And now you see, he can run routes. He can win at the intermediate, that 10 to 19-yard level. He can win after the catch. So I think Dallas is also tapping into that skill set a little bit better too.
Yeah, no, he's a hell of a player. You're right. He's fun to watch. And when he gets, this, Steve P., when he gets going, and gets like 3 or 4 catches within a quarter or something, I mean, he's a ton of fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. And there's definitely something to that and the rhythm that he's able to build. And like I said, you saw elements of it in Pittsburgh, and I think Dallas is really unlocking everything George Pickens can do.
Hey, did you see where Brian Schottenheimer sat CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens because they broke curfew? But CD made sure to let everybody know that he wasn't throwing up, later that evening or something.
Rumors. There were rumors that he was out till 7 a.m. or something like that. Yeah, I was telling on our show. I told a story. We played one of the independent teams I played in Atlantic City, and we had an 11 a.m. game. So you have these morning games, for kids and the businessman special, and one of our shortstop was out till 8 a.m. and just went straight to the field and hit 2 doubles and a bomb. It was like, wow, this dude, unbelievable.
Wow.
Great day in Atlantic City for him.
That's like Pete Young. He played baseball at Mississippi State. Unbelievable player. And Pete could smash some beers and go 3 for 4 at third base in an SEC game. And then Ron Polk would bring him in to close the game out in the 8th and 9th inning. I mean, dude was just fearless and ferocious.
Some guys just have it. They know how to play through anything. So.
And look, you played AAA baseball for the San Francisco Giants. You've heard some of the stories. Back in the 70s, that was just another day that ended in Y, Steve P. right?
Yeah, a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of greenies on the field.
I mean,
that's how they got over it. You
right.
get some speed on the field, and it offsets a lot of what you did the day before.
Sure. Speed on the field. That's how they reference you, Jackson Meadows, right? Speed on the field. He played 8-man football in high school, and he's 6'4", and he played against a bunch of guys that were 5'7". So he dominated. How many touchdowns did you score your senior year in high school in 8-man football?
Yeah, I mean, probably about 20-something. Had to eclipse 20. And
you did Henry.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. If you hit a boot, I played, quarterback, wide receiver, safety, and linebackers. I mean, if you hit a bootleg as a quarterback, you're scoring.
Right.
You score.
Was it two-hand touch or tackle?
Oh, we tackling. We're knocking heads out there.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So you played quarterback, wide receiver, and running back. Yeah, and you scored from all three positions.
Oh, I scored from all of them, yeah. Defensive touchdowns, special team touchdowns, you name it.
And you had to what, kick?
Yeah, and I kicked.
Was it field goals and punting or both?
Both, extra points, you name it. They never kicked extra points until I got there, and then we nailed them.
Nice.
Like the original Travis Hunter here.
Essentially. Paved the way for him.
That's right. The
combination.
Right.
Travis Hunter and Derrick Henry, I would say.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were the original Travis Hunter.
Well, I didn't have, height like Steve's guy. If I had that, man, I'd be in the league.
Yeah, for our listeners, Steve Palazzolo 6'10", our guest.
I can't believe that.
Jackson 6'4", and Palazzolo again played AAA baseball for the San Francisco Giants. All right, he joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Who's the team to watch in the NFL? Is it the Rams, the Patriots, someone else? Talk to me.
Oh man, it's so wide open right now because all the best teams have generally been tied to the elite quarterbacks, and you've got issues now with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. They're all either struggling or, in the Ravens' case, started really slow and trying to get back to it. And I think the Patriots do look really good. They haven't really been tested a ton, but they've answered the call when they've had to play good teams. The Bucs, the Bills. They still have a couple more of those games against the Ravens and Bills down the stretch, but everything else looks pretty easy for New England. And then, I'm watching a game like last night, the way the Texans play defense, the way the Broncos play defense, and they played each other a couple weeks ago, and it looked just like that, just so difficult to even complete a pass, get a first down. And I do wonder if this is one of those years where these defensive-centric teams, Seattle Seahawks, Broncos, Texans, if this is the type of year where if they just get competent quarterback play, if they could go on a run while Kansas City and Buffalo and some of the supposed to be elite teams, feel a little bit weaker, and then so we'll see what happens after Thanksgiving. Some teams can go on a run, Kansas City could rattle off 6 straight and, this could all be moot and they're back again. But I think the AFC could be wide open. And then the NFC, I still love what the Eagles are capable of doing if they could be more consistent. Still wouldn't sleep on the Lions despite a couple of their slip-ups. And then the Seahawks and Rams could be right there at the ends too after the way they played each other last week. So I love it right now. It feels really wide open in the NFL heading into Thanksgiving.
Who do you like better, the Rams or the Eagles?
Still probably the Eagles because of the history. I'm not loving the way the offense is coming together, though. And even when they were at their best, the offense didn't have these kinds of lulls where there's almost nothing thrown to the middle of the field, and they can't really run it this year. And there's only, they have explosive plays one every 4 weeks. So that's the only part I don't like. I think the Rams are pretty well-rounded. I love the way Stafford is playing and the way the defense can create pressure up front, and then the 1-2 punch of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. So I think the Rams are right there, but I'll give the Eagles the slight edge right now at the moment, given some of their history.
He had the NFL Podcast of the Year. He's Steve Palazzolo, influencer and also NFL insider. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. I want to hit on that for a second. You mentioned the Eagles not throwing it to the middle of the field. I can't remember if it was you that said it a couple weeks ago on the show or maybe someone else. But what is that? People are talking about how Jalen Hurts can't throw it with success in the middle of the field. Do you agree with that? And if so, what does that mean as far as his game and for the Eagles going forward?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a can't as much as he doesn't. It's just not his game as much as anything. Like Joe Burrow doesn't Joe Burrow plays from the shotgun all the time, and people complain up here like, oh, he should be under center more so you can run better and run more play action. And it's like, it's not that Joe Burrow can't play under center. He's just more comfortable from the shotgun. I think you have that with Jalen Hurts, where he's more comfortable playing like a one-on-one on the outside. Let me get the ball outside the numbers to my receivers type of game. And what happens, he's had a different, I saw the graphic the other day. I didn't realize how crazy it was. It's like 9 different coordinators in 9 years for Jalen Hurts going back to college, between Alabama, Oklahoma, pretty much every year with the Eagles. His offensive coordinator either got promoted somewhere else or he got fired, like in 2023 when they really struggled down the stretch. But across multiple coordinators, when the Jalen Hurts-led offense struggles, it feels like he gets back there, it's kind of lethargic, and he's just waiting for this long developing route, like, hey, AJ Brown, go win one-on-one, or hey, Devontae Smith, go win one-on-one on the outside, and I'll try to get you the ball outside the numbers. That's what it feels like. It just feels like there's no creativity to the offense outside of the run game. But from a pass game perspective, there's no creativity. There's no seam route. There's no middle of the field.
They've got pieces. Their tight end's fantastic. AJ Brown is. Do you still have him top 5 in the league, Steve P?
Yeah, I mean, he may have lost half a step so far this year, but something's off there. But yeah,
and Devontae,
the type of guy that could take over. Yeah.
Okay.
They've got 2 top 15 receivers, I'd say, with Devontae there.
So what does that mean? I mean, tell me why. So basically, this is just about all Saquon driven, and then because Jalen is so good with his legs when plays break down?
I mean, a little bit. Hurts doesn't play. He just doesn't. Like, there's just not a well-rounded pass game with him. So you don't get this, like a good pass game, you get this combination of quick game and then play action at the intermediate level and then throwing the ball down the field. Like, Hurts is not throwing that 10 to 19 yard range this year. There's a lot of just quick game or just down the field and some like low, like what he threw to AJ Brown on 4th down against the Packers on Monday night. It's just this low percentage, fade on 4th and 6th. And so that's what I'm seeing from Hurts. And for some reason, when Hurts offenses get into a funk, no matter who the play caller is, could be Kellen Moore, could be Kevin Palazzolo right now, could be Shane Steichen that he's had through the years. When they get into a funk, that's what it feels like. Like Jalen Hurts not working parts of the field, only throwing the ball outside the numbers at low percentage type of passes. And then the run game is usually pretty good because he could keep it, and you've got the tush-push stuff and short yardage and what have you. But there's something missing with the pass game, and it seems consistent to Jalen Hurts more than his play caller. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. How can they – there's not enough just schemed up open plays. When you're watching the game, you're like, hey, how did Kyle Shanahan do it again? How did George Kittle get wide open? How did this guy get wide open? You just don't have that as much from the Eagles, and it's just been consistent for across multiple coordinators with Jalen Hurts. Okay,
but yet Howie Roseman and their personnel are so damn good.
Yeah, it's outstanding, and their defense is incredible. Like they held Goff to 2 of his last 18 passing because every pass is contested. So yeah, it's such a good roster right now.
2 of his last 18 in the NFL against Goff, who may not be elite, but he's good. He's definitely a B-level quarterback and been playing for a long time and played in big games and won big. Wow. Okay. Steve Palazzolo, his show's Check the Mic, YouTube, Spotify, and so on. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. The show is brought to you by Stella Artois and Wings at Martin's in Livingston. That's a winning combo. Okay. Lane Kiffin. I know you're heavy NFL, but you do cover a lot of college and you do great on the draft and so on. What do you make of this Kiffin story and whether or not he may leave to LSU or Florida, Steve P, or stay?
I mean, there's so much about college football and the college football calendar that I detest, and I love college football overall, and I also hate that we spend so much time, or media spend so much time thinking about what the committee thinks. It's just, think about that for a minute. You don't even talk about football. You only talk about what the committee might be thinking about the football. That's what the media has to talk about. And now we're in the middle of a playoff run, and we have to talk about where Lane is going to go. And it's just not good for the sport because Ole Miss can make a little playoff run here. He could easily go back and say, look what I've built. He's done a great job with the resources given there and a great job in this new era of how to attack the transfer portal, how to develop a team. He's awesome from a play caller perspective. So if he went back to Ole Miss, I wouldn't hate it, for him. I think that might not be an awful move. I think Florida has been trying to put a full court press on, and LSU is going to do the same thing, and he probably sees all the dysfunction at LSU. And I don't know how it shakes. I don't know if anybody actually knows how it shakes out. A lot of people think they know. I don't know how it shakes out. And I don't know if the NFL has been calling a little bit. Heard those rumors that the Titans may have been intrigued. I think he could do it at the NFL level too. I don't know if the NFL is ready to bring a whole bunch of college coaches in. It's like a hit or miss type of history there. Mm-hmm. But between one of those three, I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he just stayed at Ole Miss. But this is perhaps, strike while the iron's hot type of opportunity with desperate Florida, desperate LSU, and he's just going to have to take one of those deals.
Okay, yeah, especially with the schedule flipping next year because they've had a beautiful schedule this year and last. Titans may be kicking the tires. Wonder if the Giants would with the Jackson Dart tie, but the Titans thing is interesting too. All right, Steve P. I guess the game of the week is Buccaneers-Rams, or do you have another one that jumps out?
Eagles Cowboys I think is intriguing if the Cowboys defense is better, and then Colts Chiefs as well. This is the highest leverage potential playoff game in the Mahomes era. In other words, if they win, they're about 70% chance to make the playoffs. If they lose, they're about 30% chance to make the playoffs. In the Mahomes era, that's never happened. So Colts Chiefs, I'll be watching that Sunday at 1 pretty closely.
All right. I like it. Clam Chowder influencer, Steve Palazzolo, his show, Check the Mic. He had the NFL podcast of the year. Steve P., thank you, my man. We appreciate it.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Show me the money.
So Colts at Chiefs. He's got 3 games this week. Colts at Chiefs. That's a noon kick. So you have to be ready right after church. Eagles at Cowboys. That's 325. Brutal because Eagles are one of the most physical teams in the league. Cowboys on defense are not. And then they turn right around and play the Chiefs on Thursday. And then another game this week, Sunday Night Football, Buccaneers at the Rams. The Rams are 8-2. Wilkes was not happy that the Bucs lost to the Bills, but I was like, buddy, after they lost to the Dolphins, they were going to bounce back at home. I mean, the Bucs have had a good run, but they've been winning games by 1, 2, 3 points, and that eventually plays out. But they're still in a good spot in the NFC South. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN.